So I just thought I'd come on and have a chat about some stuff and see what comes up. And I was just on my way. I opened up my computer and Facebook was open. And there's a couple of quotes that are on there that I thought I might like to talk about. And one is, the black sheep is usually the one breaking toxic cycles. Yeah, so I'd like to give all of us black sheep that we sort of get a bad rap, but we're actually doing a lot of good shit. Yeah, not popular stuff necessarily. Though I've found that I was definitely the difficult child, the middle child, an older sister and a younger brother. And I just had such a sense of injustice as a child and just didn't fit easily in. It was like, and I still find that with my birth family, that I feel like, and I'm fine with just mum and dad, but when my siblings were around, it's like they want me to fit into a box and I just can't fit into it. I just like, no, you can't make me, and they don't hear me. So yeah, I don't have ultra close relationships with them. But you know, we were all, with 3 kids, you'd think with the same parents that you would turn out the same. And no, and we had such different childhoods, like right from the very beginning. Because my sister, who's the oldest, when she was born, it was all very much the way it was all planned. Mum and Dad had their dream house built that they were going to live in forever, and they lived there, and then they had their first baby, and that was all perfect. And then my dad changed jobs, and so they had to move towns, and that was all decided while Mum was pregnant with me. And then so when I came along, they were having their second dream house built, and so they lived in a shitty old flat in between times, and it was cold and damp. And though we didn't live, like, in theory, I can't remember this, but I remember the feeling, and it was cold and damp and angry. Dad was really angry. I mean, he actually was angry most of my life, especially with me. And Mum was sick, and apparently I cried all the time, I was always sort of blamed for crying all the time, but I actually think that, you know, as the baby, I was just sensing everything that wasn't good at the time. So anyway, and then when I was 2, they moved again, but they to an already built house, and that place was fine. And then they had my brother there, so you know, they had their boy and girl, and me, and he could sort of, when we lived in Napier, which was beautiful and sunny and very abundant, and he was born into that. And so it was like we were all born into these different phases of life that were really different to each other. And then we all moved when I was 7. So my sister was 9 and my brother was 3. And then once we got here, it was a lot grayer. Like in Napier, the sun is one of the sunniest places in the country, and here is not, in Wellington. And so there was just so much grey, not much sun, and not as nice sort of outdoor area as we were used to. So everything changed, and it wasn't all bad. We all like moved to the bigger city, so we had more opportunity, and we all took it, and that was awesome. But now my siblings have moved away. I not quite look after my parents. Like I don't. Actually, I do physically do stuff with them. Yeah, I look after my parents, and yeah, that's an interesting scenario. And my siblings just sort of come along and stamp their stamp all over the place every now and then, and sort of tell mum and dad what they think they should do, and all these things. So have I got a point? What did I start with? Oh, the black sheep, yeah. Yes, so I was the black sheep of the family. And I still am, in that I won't just fit in. I just find whenever there's a box to fit into, I'm just like, no, you can't make me. And I see boxes all over the place. I found this with Toastmasters, which I joined to get better at speaking, which has helped me enormously, and I'm really glad that I did it. But yeah, a lot of the stuff with that, like there's all these different pathways that you can do, and I chose visionary communication because I'm like quite future focused in my outlook on life, and I don't just mean like my future, I mean the future of humanity, and so it's a bit woo-woo for a lot of people, and because Toastmasters is quite a structure. Anyway, yeah, so I picked visionary communication, thinking that I just went through all the ticked the boxes, and that's what it came up with for me. But I sort of find it not that visionary, because it's sort of like I've just done a thing on leadership, and it's like, what's your leadership style? And I'm like, oh, I don't really think I've got one. And I actually did my leadership speech about. I did mention my leadership style, which was altruistic, was what it came up with for me, but that I'm not a leader. Talk to me about co-creation. Yes, then it's all lovely, but leadership sort of makes me go, and I find the whole concept quite contractive, and I don't really like it. But being a co-creator, yes. So I just find there's so many sort of bits of life that I'm like, can't fit into the box. And even talking about Toastmasters, my next thing coming up is, what's your communication style? And I'm like, oh, I don't actually know if it's got a quiz yet. I haven't got up to that bit, but I'm like, is erratic one? It's probably not. So I don't even know if I'll fit into one of their categories. But yeah, I suppose I'll see, and I'll try and be a bit open to it. But I'm like, oh yeah, do I have a style? Do I want a style? Do I need to fit into a box for that? I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. And then forgiveness doesn't always mean reconnection. Yes. I think that is a great thing to keep in mind, because forgiveness is really hard, because that person did that terrible thing, but you're not forgiving them for them, you're forgiving them for yourself, which is also a pretty hard concept, because they're the one that did the really bad thing. But then if we believe the sort of foundation of NLP is that everybody's always doing the best with what they've got, and when I say that's a foundation, that's actually the way I read it. That might not be the underpinning of NLP. It's just probably what I felt was the biggest lesson that I got out of it, was that everybody's always doing the best they can, including me. And that's, I always need to put that bit in. Other people don't necessarily say that, but so in forgiving someone, so someone did something that you thought was really bad or it really hurt you or whatever, and you've got to forgive them, that doesn't mean that you're saying that was all right, whatever they did. They just did what needed to happen, and that might have even needed to happen because it was time for you to separate. My camera's gone all crazy. Yeah, because in the whole scheme of life, you might have spent more than a good amount of time with that person who wasn't meant to be with you any longer than that. So you had to cut ties. So in that way, you can forgive them, but that doesn't mean you're making what they did okay, or even that you weren't hurt by it. Because if you were, you were. So yeah, I just really liked that. And there were other ones, but they weren't as good. So yeah, that is the end of that rant. Thank you.